Hello everyone, today we're having a second look at the RTS module for Game Creator, which is, as of this recording, on sale for 50% off as well. It's definitely a great look even if you are not going to create an RTS game. It contains tons of custom scripts and actions that could be useful for so much. So let's have a look. Before we get started, I'd like to thank all of my Patreon supporters for the amazing support. So first off, we'll have a look at all of the custom actions, and I'm pretty sure more got added, so this is not even everything, but it's worth having a look at. Now, I'm aware this is not an actual RTS camera view, and that's actually a good thing because it does highlight some of the potential, even if you are not creating a RTS game. So we'll just follow the tutorial, and have a look at all of these custom things. So we can give resources, um, and basically that's one of the best things about it. So if you have a look at the bottom, we have a resource system, and we can, well, as you can see, just give a bunch of resources. And if you are creating a survival game, for example, resources are also a big part of it. And I'll show you a bit later how all of this is set up. And it's just incredibly useful for so many things. But obviously, we also have the gather, the wander, wandering on. And there we go. And as you can see, NPCs are just wandering around. Takes nav mesh into account as well, of course. And now they're running. But imagine, a city game, open world game, and you can just have NPCs wander around. And that's one of the things that, in my opinion, was really missing with behavior. And this wander script is a great add-on for pretty much any type of open world game as well. So not just the RTS. So that's why it's nice to actually have this view. Yes, I would make sure that those wandering NPCs are not just running around all the time, but just walking. But it's actually really cool. Obviously, if you're thinking of using this for animals, that's definitely one of the things that comes to mind as well. Now we have the gather toggle as well. So basically units will be gathering, which is cool, more of an RTS thing. And I'm not sure why the models are not popping up, but that's fine. And they basically start gathering stuff themselves. Now we could do this for animals, for example, if you're not creating an RTS game, but generally speaking, this is definitely more of an RTS thing. And as you can see, the resources are slowly depleting, and they just dynamically gather resources, which is, really cool. So yeah, that's it for the, highlight most advanced custom actions. Now let's have a look at how, especially the resources and the wandering, because that's something that everyone could enjoy, actually works and is set up. So here we are with our additive view, and all of the preferences and basically every single setup for this module is done in the preferences window, like many of the other modules like stats, inventory, etc. When we have a look at the RTS creators, the most interesting thing for me that would fit any type of game, especially open world and RTS, of course, would be the resource creator. So basically being able to create resources with ease. As you can see, there's tons you can customize. And this is something I really like, again, because it can be used for so much more. Yes, you could set that up manually, of course, with combination of inventory, stats, and things like that. But simplicity is key, and this just makes it so much easier. So definitely one of the highlights for me. When it comes to the unit creation, we have the AI setup. So it has its own AI system. So you're not reliant on behavior, but I do think combining several of them would be a good call. And yeah, this is definitely one of the things that interests me a lot. So we have the Wonder system, which is that's something that is just really cool. Yes, we can create it more more elaborate by having units wander and basically gather resources at the same time, which could be pretty cool if you're creating a bit more of a dynamic open world, which I think is really nice. If we have a look at some of these wandering characters and how they're actually set up, as you can see, these are just game creator characters, so nothing crazy is going on here. However, they have the Wander controller, which allows us to basically set up several things. Um, they automatically wander, of course. That's the whole goal. But because they are just default game creator characters, we can still do everything else with them, and it's controlled by actions. And that's something that is just really cool. Really like that part of it, because again, for open worlds, this is quite awesome, and behavior does not cover it. So yeah, those are a couple of my highlights. Even if you are not creating a RTS game. So here we're having a look at the gathering and how it actually would work from an RTS view. Now, obviously, you have the camera you expect to have, for an RTS look, and we can basically have characters. They can spawn. Like they would do for an RTS game. I'm zooming a bit in because I actually like to see the characters. And then we can basically give them tasks and they will be assigned to doing that. So we have resources like I showed in the previous thing. And then, once they actually get to the point, they will start gathering resources, and it takes a bit of time. Obviously, all of that is customizable, and then you can hover over and you see the types of resources being gathered and at a rate, and obviously everything is tracked. And this is one of the most important things, obviously, for a RTS game. Gathering resources, being able to command your troops, and having them move in formation. That's something I really like. It's really hard to just do that by default. Wouldn't even know how to. But yeah, that's actually something that is really cool. Again, I do like the general resource system overall because it's really intuitive and it's just easy to use. But yeah, really cool stuff. So if you are thinking about creating an RTS system, this is definitely a way to go. And keep in mind that you'll keep all of the power of Game Creator as well, of course, because Game Creator is the foundation on which this is built. So yeah, really cool stuff. Obviously, it wouldn't be an RTS module without having Fog of War. And Fog of War, if you're not familiar, is this system that allows you to basically explore the map as you go. So, if you've ever played, well, pretty much any RTS really, this is, kind of a big mechanic in these types of games. Because, you're not able to see the map completely by default. And the Fog of War allows you to discover the map, discover resources, discover the edge of your territory, and discover your enemies. So yeah, obviously quite an important system, and one that was completely added in one of the previous updates. So yeah, quite an important little highlight here. And obviously, one of the most important parts of any RTS game is going to be combat, the fact that they fight each other. And yes, by default now it's set to that they automatically already, start wandering around, go into combat mode, which is something you can customize. And obviously, I wouldn't do for their own players. Yes, I can still move them around and move into formations. But they basically will go fight each other, and that's the whole point. Yes, you can combine this with melee and shooter to make, to make it all more animated and make it look better. Which obviously I would always recommend to, put a bit more details into it with animations and things like that, which is going to be the core. No, you don't need those modules for it, but it does help make things a lot more interesting. So yeah, that's RTS again. I thought it was worth having a second look. I actually started using some of these custom scripts in one of my games, which is not an RTS game. It's actually not even fully open world. But some of these systems, like the resource system and the wandering system, are just incredibly useful for most scenarios. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.